HarperCollins and HarperAudio present The Upstairs House, a novel, by Julia Fine, performed by Courtney Patterson. A note before we begin. For a list of sources, don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/The Upstairs House. November, 1950. Death flaunts itself on every tree, and Margaret looks out the hospital window, calling it beautiful. Typical, thinks Michael. The others have gone to the washroom, to interrogate the nurses, to the hotel to retrieve a fresh shirt. Margaret has stayed. Margaret is here. Margaret helps Michael align the clasp of the necklace to the protrusion of bone at the back of her neck. Margaret looks at her and says, "Oh yes, Rab." Rab for rabbit, Michael's pet name. Margaret is Bun, short for Bunny. Lovely. Michael knows the appropriate word is not lovely. Once lauded as the most beautiful woman in America, in recent years she's shed a body's worth of bulk, finally completing the transformation from her former self, Blanche Ulrichs of the gilded Newport Ulrichs, into the legend she deserves to become. Michael Strange, poetess, actress. At 24, she'd felt the literary urge, needed a nom de plume to publish. The name came to her in a dream, not just a pen name, but a better self, the leading lady role of any lifetime. Michael Strange, iconoclast and luminary. Michael Strange, the benevolent sun. Now, 60, Michael Strange is dying. For years, she's been told that leukemia will kill her, but the prognosis is so antithetical to Michael's self-conception, she's refused to take it as fact. All summer into hospitals, then out of them. No one believed she'd return to the lecture circuit. No one thought she'd make it up to Maine. During the 13-hour ride north on the Bar Harbor Express, Michael had begrudgingly written out the details of her funeral. "Dress me in my pleated robe, white with gold trim, and lay me in the living room at Under the Hill." The prelude to Wagner's Parsifal will play on loop as the guests are received. "And if the musicians grow tired, replace them." That was July, and here Michael is now, in November. The doctors underestimated her natural resilience, her joie de vivre, her stubbornness, all traits that she'd been known for in her youth. All traits that thrived once she was free of Margaret. Margaret. Always Margaret. Margaret bent over the bed, face leaner than Michael remembers, lines webbing out from her eyes. If only someone would marry her, take her off Michael's hands. "Rab, what else can I do for you?" asks Margaret. The others trickle in. Michael's housekeeper, her one surviving son, a few old friends, Charles Shaw and Ted Peckham. "Go home and rest," Ted says to Margaret, but Margaret stays. Margaret is loyal. Margaret is executor of Michael's estate, and she has sworn she'll recite Michael's poetry nightly. No doubt Margaret will sit herself down in their shared rooms at East End Avenue, or in her writing studio, that silly cobble court, or in that ridiculous cabin in Maine, and summon Michael. Will that be enough to bring her back? After all, that is the spirit. In ink, in the poetry. That is the soul. Michael is afraid to die. Only the foolish aren't afraid of the unknown. But here are her admirers, hovered above the hospital bed, seated on the window sills, legions of angels. Michael's still conducting her own life.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?